everybody and their neighbor. Welcome back to Gear and Gigs. I'm your host, Jeff Stone, and I'm glad to be here. I hope you are too. We are very glad you joined us. We being me and the man about town, the pedal master himself, the guy who puts the funk in our dysfunction, Reggie Elson. Reg, how you doing?
Hi, Reg. How you doing?
No, you're Reg.
Ah, man, I forget.
I know.
Okay.
Read the script, man. Come on.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, doing well.
Good.
Doing well.
Glad to hear it. We got a pedal that I think Reg is going to dig, and I hope you do too. It's an unusual pedal. The words of the day are wild, psychedelic, high dramatic, just out of control weirdness and fun, and definitely funkified. So we're going to have a funkified little afternoon here. So stick around with us. We got a lot to show you on this particular pedal. Now, if you've clicked on the link, you know what you're going to see, but he, as always, as is my wont, has no idea because we've got it all covered up in the cloth of mystery, the magic hanky.
Magic hanky, exactly. God, I love the magic hanky. It increases the anticipation.
Right. Yeah, you like the drum roll. You like the whole pomp and circumstance of it. That's right. A sense of occasion.
Could it be?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to, without further ado, because that's clearly enough ado, we're going to pull this off. Hit the drums. Here we go. What is it? Oh, it is the All-Pedal Macrodose. I know, he has no idea. He's not even heard of it. I love when we do that. This is the perhaps the ultimate in funk. This is the envelope and filter box of magic that you've longed for all your life.
Well, I'll certainly say they didn't call it a microdose.
That's right. That's a much smaller pedal. It's a very small one. Yeah.
That looks like a relatively small pedal.
They pack an incredible amount of stuff on here. We've got 6, 7, 8 knobs, a switch, a little mini switch, and 2 foot switches, one being tap and one being to activate the pedal. Now, this is not typical for me, but I might actually have to cheat and look at the directions, the manual, oh my God, to figure this thing out as we go along because it's just that deep. So you'll forgive me if I pull out my phone and I'm trying to decipher some of this stuff as we go because there's a lot to explain. But basically, in a nutshell, it will do an envelope. You know, a filter, an envelope filter, up, down, that kind of stuff, based on your dynamics, based on settings of frequency and resonance. It's got all that. But it also has an LFO that can control the envelope and the filter, and it will do, I think, 6 or 8 different waves that you can do, also combined with your dynamics. And it also has a step filter. It goes at different speeds and that kind of stuff. So you can go crazy with this thing. Now, it does have an expression pedal. We're not going to use that today because I didn't have the right kind of expression pedal. It takes a stereo jack expression pedal, and I didn't have one with a long enough cord, to be honest. I have a short one, and it wouldn't quite reach the floor, and I didn't want to try to do it with my hand. But there's so much in here where, you know, it'll be enough for today. It'll be enough to whet your appetite, and if you want to dig further, you certainly can. But I think I just can't imagine Reg not liking this pedal. If he turns off in the middle of the show, I will be shocked. So
well, I haven't even heard it yet, and the very idea of it, because of the amount of control and the amount of different things it does, it seems like one of those kind of pedals. Not like your olden day pedals where you get you set it like you like it, you put it on your floor, and you either turn it on or you turn it off, right? But rather one of those where you might want to do some tweaking.
Yeah.
Right? During play.
Yeah.
That actually rolls in with what I've done there.
That is a very cool thing. Yeah, show the fine folks at home what you've done there.
They're pedals. They're all, you can't really see them from here, but they're all foot pedals. But they're all foot pedals that have, like this pedal, a lot of different things that you can do with them, and therefore pedals that, if they're on the floor like a normal pedal board, you're constantly bending over to turn a knob or hit a switch, other than the foot switches, obviously, because all manner of other switches. And so the old music stand, raise the pedal board up, sit down, it's at the level, and then you can play and tweak, and it sounds like this is going to be something that would be ideal for that.
See, it's genius. Take the standard music stand and then put, what is it, like a pedal train pedal?
PT Junior,
Yeah,
yeah.
fits right on there, and you know he's got the Velcro so you can have everything in an angle. It doesn't fall off. The bottom of the stand keeps the pedal board from going anywhere, and you know it's a simple idea, but if you haven't thought of it, for me it was like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm using this is a flat table here with a cloth, obviously, that we just put the pedals on, but for an actual pedal board that you can move around and not have stuff fall off of, that's genius. So
It's working for me. I like it. It's like I'm playing bass and playing a modular synth at the same time.
So there's a tip from your friends at Gear and Gigs, a way to get your pedals up off the ground and next to you, and still have them be very stable and controllable with your fingers. So there you go. This one I'm going to be doing a lot of twisting and turning, I think, to get us through this. But we're going to start it off simple and go up from there. Our guitars of the day, I've got two of them here. I think I'm going to start off with the Nick Huber, or Huber, depending on how you pronounce it, Krautster II in worn copper. The cool thing about this guitar is it's got a P90 in the neck, Housel pickups, by the way, P90. It's got a humbucker in the bridge, and it's got probably one of the best splits I've ever heard on a humbucker. I can pull this knob out, and we get a single coil. So it's really got single coil humbucker and a P90, so it's kind of like almost everything in pickups. The only thing that's not in there is like a Rickenbacker pickup, I think. So,
Right.
I'm pretty excited about this guitar. I really like the Krausters quite a bit. I've interviewed Nick before in one of our NAMM debriefings from a couple years ago, and he is just such a sweetheart and cares tremendously about making great instruments. And you know, one of my all-time favorites. I actually have two of these, this one and a Surf Green, which you may have seen in a previous episode. But yeah, I really like this, so we're going to use that today. We're going to use my new favorite amp, my Amplified Nations, or Amplified Nation, there's only one nation, Amplified Nation. My Wonderland Overdrive back there set on clean, which is ostensibly sort of a John Mayer clean. That's kind of what he was going for there. It's Dumble-esque, it's very dumbly, and so we're going to check that out. We do have distortion, or overdrive, however you want to look at it, on that amp as well. That would be after the filter, so if we want to get into that, we can. The reverb will be coming from the amp, and it's just a large spring reverb, which one of the best reverbs I've heard on an amp. Very, very encompassing. I don't have it dialed up to be soupy, but it's nice, it's a pleasant, and we'll take away some of the dryness that we're working with here. All right, I'm going to grab my Gravity Striker pick, which is what I like to use, and we'll check out our dry sound, and then we'll dive into this. So
Yeah, buddy, dive in is what I'm talking about.
all right, here we go. I'm going to turn off my mic so you can hear the dry sound. So that's the split pickup, and I kind of like that. It doesn't overdrive the amp.
Very focused sounding.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's like right there.
It's good though. Good level. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So the first thing I'm going to do is set it up, as I said, as a basic, just a basic envelope follower sort of a thing, so you can get an idea what that sounds like.
Yeah, that's funky. That's got a lot of juice to it.
Yeah, it's very juicy, really rich and drippy, and yeah, it's got all that, and it's really vocal. I find it to be a very vocal sound, you know, like somebody's kind of wow doing it with that.
It is. And that one, I'm guessing that was a low pass, obviously.
That is a low pass. Now it does have a low pass, band pass, and high pass switch. So I'll go through those settings now on this without adjusting anything, so you can kind of get an idea.
Okay.
So that's your bandpass. Almost has a talk box sort of a thing going on.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
almost went into some Frampton there.
It's still tasty.
Let's go to the high pass.
Okay, so right off the bat, all three filter types are still wet and slurpy.
There you go. That's the phrase I was looking for.
Yeah, they're wet and slurpy,
Yeah.
and because I've had numerous pedals that'll have a choice of high, lower bandpass, right? And especially on bass, the low pass, the pedal wouldn't be in the room if it wasn't wet and slurpy on low pass.
Right.
But generally, if you flip it, and it wouldn't be bandpass for me, but if I put it on high pass, it would still sound good. You'd still have a filter sound that it would trigger the envelope, but it would lose the wet and slurp.
Yeah, they get a little dry. Yeah.
Yeah, and this keeps it.
Yeah.
Regardless of where it's set, it keeps it. So that's all right. One big check right there.
Okay, so now I'm going to roll the frequency knob up and down so you can get an idea of the hot spots that it can control. I'll put it back on the low pass because I think that's probably our favorite one anyway. And, and move the frequency up and down so you can get an idea what that does.
Quite a range. Yeah, it's got quite a range.
Big fat range. Now I'm going to put that kind of like where we had it in the beginning, and I'm going to mess with the resonance.
Okay, excellent.
So it has a lot of flexibility on that. I mean, it really kind of gets it whistly almost to the point of...
Yeah, I was going to say drippy, like it was already wet and slurpy, or slurpy and whatever the first two were. And then the extra adjective would be drippy.
I didn't realize this was going to be such a moist show, by the way.
I didn't know either. I didn't know where we were going, right? I'm just commenting on something that I'm thinking, that actually could be on there.
It doesn't...
I could think,
Yeah, it doesn't thin it out. It's like, it's moist and meaty.
Yeah, it's also moist and meaty. It is like the adjective full. Okay, and you said it has an LFO on it.
Oh yeah, that's where the fun really begins. Yeah.
So yeah, because I was going to say if at some point, don't start where you start, but at some point when you're doing the LFO, put the resonance pretty high.
Okay.
But then only open it just enough where it's not muddy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wherever that is, because I just want to see how it sweeps through that. Like if it sounds like you're doing the old highly resonant filter on the synthesizer.
Oh sure, yeah.
Rolling it down.
So the controls on here are warp, which can do various things in different modes. The frequency, which we've already rolled through. The resonance, which we've gone through. The depth, which acts as a kind of like the intensity or the sensitivity of the, how hard you have to hit to get it to activate. There's a blend control, which right now I have all the way up because we want to hear what the pedal does. And, that happens a lot of times in pedal videos. We will put blends up pretty high so you can hear the pedal. always remember, you know, on almost all these pedals, flangers, choruses, phasers that we do, you have a blend control typically, or a mix control that you can change and make it more subtle than how we use it here on the show, because we want to show you you know, what the pedal can do at its maximum. You know, so
and we never claim to be subtle, anyways.
it's not that's not in the bylaws of Gear and Gigs. Yeah, subtlety is not required. And then there's a volume and overall volume control, which is kind of nice to have on a filter, because sometimes it can change your volume quite a bit by what you do, especially with resonance and that kind of stuff. Now there's a mode knob and a shape knob. They work together. They intermingle. They kind of work with each other, and depending on the mode and the shape, they do different things. So right now, we're in the basic envelope mode, and we are going up with the envelope. Now I'll switch it to going down with the envelope, and our mode switch, our knob, will still no longer do anything. The mode doesn't get engaged until we get past the basic envelope stage. So let me set it for envelope down, and let's take a listen to that, and I'll just kind of roll some of the knobs around like we've been doing, give you an idea what that does. I do have trouble not moving my mouth, so if you see me doing, you know, mouth exercises while I'm playing, it's involuntary. I just can't help but like talk with the guitar.
It's like seeing a perfectly cooked ribeye steak and your mouth waters, and this is like same thing. It's because you identify the steak as rich and juicy, right?
Right.
And you identify the pedal as
rich and juicy,
right?
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of what do you call response?
Yeah, and it's an involuntary psychosomatic response.
You can't help it. Yeah, you can't help it.
IPR is what in the industry as it's known. Okay, so I'm going to flip it to the band pass and then the high pass on these basically same settings and see how that does with this envelope up.
I gotta say, okay, this is point number 2.
Okay.
In its favor. In general, I don't like opening filters. I like closing filters. Like, you know, it clamps down. It just in general. And this one has me thinking, well, actually, that's probably the best opening filter sounds I've ever
It's
heard.
real pleasant the way it opens up. Isn't it real organic?
There's no attack or decay knob on it, right? So the envelope just is what the envelope is.
Well, it would depend on your depth, I think, and the frequency that you set, how it would react. So
Oh, so different frequencies or different attack times.
and the depth I think also is going to be how hard it comes in. So if I set it, well, I'll mess with those and let's see if we can get faster times. I should mention, by the way, this is an all analog pedal. It's
Oh,
all
even
analog,
better.
but it's digitally controlled.
That's the best form of hybrid anything.
I agree. I agree. So let me mess with the depth. I'll leave it on the high pass, or do you want me to go back to the low pass?
No, leave it on the high pass. That actually sounded nice.
Okay.
I like it better than the closing filter on it.
Okay. So I'll leave it there, and I'll mess with the frequency and depth and see what we can get.
All right.
So there's a lot of variance in
Yeah.
there. You can get some time variance. You can
Yeah.
get so many different sounds. I mean, we've barely touched this thing, and already I've gotten like 14 song ideas. 15, maybe 15. All right. So now let's get. I'm going to flip it back to low pass because I think that's a little easier to take on the long haul, and let's get into some of the LFOs. So we've got random, sine wave, triangle, sawtooth, ramp, a combination of random and saw, and a combination of square wave and triangle. So quite a few.
All right. Well, obviously we're going to try all of them, but yeah, start with the sine.
Start with the sine.
I can just imagine that on a low pass sounding a lot like a phase,
Well, let's take a listen and see what we think.
right?
And I'll mess with the frequency, depth, and resonance to find the place we like it the best. Blend will continue to be all the way up. And at this point, the warp knob, which I have all the way down, will affect something. I forget what it is because it's in different modes. It affects different things, but it'll be obvious what it's affecting. So I'm going to leave that down, and we'll talk, and then I'll come back and do the warp.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I should say, I'm sorry, I should say that the mode knob is going to have an effect here. So I can do a step situation triggered. You can also trigger it with the tap tempo if you want. A manual mode, and then a slow, medium, and fast setting. So I'm going to put it on the step here, and it'll be running at twice the speed that I set the tap tempo for, which I'll just set as a basic tempo. Here we go. There are colored lights to let you know what's going on. The center light goes from purple to pink to red to let you know where it is in the envelope or the LFO.
That's 3 points right there. Colored lights, multicolored lights. Yeah. That's 3. Now we're already. I mean, if it's the 5, it's perfect, right?
Oh, well, I'm betting we're going to get there. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, so that's the step mode. I'm going to go through the different modes on that sine wave setting so we can see what they do, because it's going to drastically change what's happening. In this mode, the warp knob changes the speed. Okay, now there I switched from the low pass to the high pass. And now the warp, I believe, mixes waveforms of the LFO together to give you blends. So it gets real synthy. You start not sound like a guitar at all.
Yeah, that's that. At the end there, it started sounding like a really super fat harmonic trem.
That's where I was dialing up the resonance a little bit too to give it that peak.
Yeah, it kind of put a little extra slurp into it, but the pop pop pop, you know.
And the tap tempo was active, so I could just choose my speed.
Okay, so the these cool effects that you're playing right now that are non-envelope filter type things, and the fact that it has a knob on it that is titled warp. It's 4.
All right, we've got 4. For those of you keeping score at home, that's 4 boxes that have been ticked. All right, well, you know, we still got more to go, and that was on high pass. Now I'm we've only messed with the sine wave. That's really only the sine wave setting. So let me go through some of the, I'll pick a setting and then I'll go through the different waves we can hear what it does. So let me find a cool setting that we like, and then I'll just flip through the different LFO waves so you can hear what the difference is between them.
Perfect.
And I think I'm going to go to low pass.
That's it. Well, there you go. There's 5. That's 5. I mean, that's a
That was
that's
the sawtooth and random combined.
very, very phasery.
Very phasery, yeah, yeah. And of course, I'm not tweaking in these, so we can probably get, not probably, we could definitely get.
Oh
different
my
sound.
God, yeah, no.
Yeah. All right, so
No, and there was you were doing something there a second ago where the resonance of the filter, the peak of the filter was doing the wah wah wah, but the rest of your playing, it was like clean and then wah wah.
It was almost
wah,
like an
wah,
echo.
Clean wah wah.
It was almost like a
almost
delay.
like an echo.
Yeah.
That all right? That's 6.
We're in the bonus boxes, people.
How does this pedal score? Well, it's 6 out of 5 so far.
All right. So now we've got one more of the LFOs, and then we get into the 2 special envelope settings where you can do even more weird stuff. So we haven't even gotten to the special envelope. So keep your boxes handy. There may be more. And once again, for each of these LFO settings, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 settings you can then combine with that to get different things. So on this latest one here where we've got the triangle wave and the random put together, I'm just going to flip through the different modes so you can hear what that does without adjusting anything else. That's like an ice age. You have to wait for it to come back around. It's so slow on that setting.
Yeah, I like that. Love that.
So I had to mess with the warp to get it to find the right speed and activation levels and stuff. Okay, you want to talk about wet and juicy. I had to look underneath to
Yeah,
see if
I
a
was just
puddle
gonna
was
say
forming.
it just went underwater. And I was just thinking when I was this past little go listening to this stuff, I was like, can you imagine using this in conjunction with like say some reverb or some delay or
Right.
something after the fact or real? I mean,
Well, let me crank up the reverb, just since you said that. Let me crank the reverb up to stupid levels, and let's see what this does with that. And I'll continue to go through the rest of the mode settings here with that. It just continues to be fun. I'm going to take a reverb back to more normal levels. I rolled up the resonance a little bit to get it more drippy. All right, a few more modes here. So there I flipped it to the high pass, and it starts to be sample and hold. Real quick, I'm going to flip the overdrive on the amp. I want to hear what this particular sound sounds like with a little overdrive. Well, it's just fun. We're at 7 boxes, ladies and gentlemen. It's a new record. 7 out of 5 so far.
So this time I'm thinking, okay, I really like this. And then this is one of those things that's 2 cents anyway, right? But running this into a distorted amp
Yeah.
sounded freaking buttery. I mean, it just really sounded buttery good. And I generally, and whenever I set something up, will put a distortion or a fuzz in front of a
Yeah.
filter, right? To kind of drive it. So then I was thinking, damn, if it sounds that good, imagine
Right, and throw,
like
throw some
like a,
echo
like
or
a
delay, a modulated delay on the back end and stereo, and oh yeah.
a big muff or something in front of
Oh
it,
yeah.
and then some kind of modulated delay. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
you're tripping balls, and everything is going to be it's going to be okay because when so far 7 out of 5, and I bet before we're done it's a 10 out of 5.
Well, it is macrodose, so we do expect it to be trippy, I would guess. That's kind of baked into the name. All right, so
It is.
and I'm sorry if we're not being methodical enough about this, but there's just so many possibilities, and everything is so interactive that it's hard not to kind of jump around a little bit. So my apologies if you wanted something more scientific, but I'm doing the best I can. Now we're going to get into the special envelopes, because it hasn't been special yet. So let's get into special envelopes, and the warp does all kinds of things at this point, and the different modes do different things, and I'm just going to play with the knobs and just let you hear what it sounds like. The last thing I had it on was a band pass. I had flipped it to a high pass. I'm going to go back to the low pass, but all bets are off at this point. Special envelope, and I'm just going to go to town. I may change the tempo with the tap tempo. It's going to get crazy. Here we go. Okay, that's
Okay.
cool. I knew that was a box
I'm
cup
telling you.
with the slowdown.
Hey,
I'm like,
I mean, because think about it, like when you have an envelope on an LFO, right, and it's like comes out and then over time does the old change of speed.
yeah,
I mean, you would have to either use an expression pedal or have your hand on the speed knob to accomplish that
Right.
if you weren't able to just
right.
do exactly what.
2 roadies and a
Yeah, that's
remote
8.
control
We're
to
to
get
8.
that normally, but here we are, automatic. Okay, we're into the land of I don't even know what to expect half the time. A lot of it is controlling the dynamics, you know, to get the timing. You can change the speed of things with your dynamics. And that's just envelope, special envelope up. Let's go to special envelope down. All right, here we go.
It's going to be the opposite.
Let's do the opposite. Here we go. So it will do the stuck pig sound, which is nice. Wee!
Good, good. It won't get a point for that, but it does. There were hints of the Nightwire in it too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously this does a great deal more, but the Nightwire does a few things because it has an LFO and envelope with a filter and amplitude. What do you call it? The trim, the harmonic trim.
Yeah, yeah.
So it has so it has, but I don't think it has a reverse on the LFO speed up and slow down.
Right,
there,
right. Which that's cool.
It's one way or the other, I think. But we're going to go ahead and go 9 anyway.
9. All right. All right.
I have a quick question for you before you go any further.
Sure. I don't know that I can go any further.
Well, I maybe not. I mean, because I'm already pretty sold on this. Power supply, regular 9 volt.
9 volt. It will run on 18, but it says it sounds better on 9, which is kind of backwards.
Running on a Boss or a one stop or pedal power, Voodoo Labs, whatever.
Yep.
Right?
And it doesn't even. It's got some kind of a system in there that if you accidentally provide the wrong polarity, it won't destroy it.
There you go. 10 it is.
10 it is.
So
wow. All right.
It's 10 out of 5. Highest rating, I think, ever.
Wow. Wow. So how many seals of approval are we bringing out here?
Ooh, I mean, 5 for me.
5 seals of approval, and
maybe
I'll give it 4. So we'll have a Brady bunch of seals.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know if we have that many. We may have to call in another zoo to help us out.
Right. Rent a few or whatever it takes.
Well, there they are, the 9 seals of approval. And as I started out by saying, I figured you might like this pedal. Yeah, and hook the expression pedal on it, and then you're doing even more stuff with it.
Oh yeah, I know, expression pedal, and plus have it up close where you can play with it while you're playing.
Right. So I'm going to, lastly here, before we go, I'm going to just try to flip through some different possibilities here that we haven't touched on one way or another. There's probably, 28 combinations of things that we haven't tried. So let me try that, see what else I can do to just raise our eyebrows here and get some last amazing tones. The tap tempo has a lot to do with it, because there are multipliers on the mode knob to change your speed musically and rhythmically. So, if you set your tap tempo to a song, you can do a lot with the mode knob to pick the different amounts of pulses you'd like. But you can also trigger directly with the envelope with the tap tempo by hitting it twice. I think it triggers it. So I can't really do that and play, but and the depth has so much to do with how it reacts. The resonance, as you heard, can change something from very mild and kind of like almost like a trem to very synthy sort of a thing. The resonance sounds very synthy, almost like a Roland synth. It's got a real analog synth thing. The frequency has got a big sweep, and if you find the right spot for the pickup, it has a lot to do with it. And then the warp control in different modes really, when you're blending the different LFO waves, it can create a very vocal sort of an in and out thing, and of course adjust the speed in several modes. But
doesn't that last one also engage the light speed drives? Like if you're trying to escape Klingons.
It's exactly what it does. I'm surprised you picked up on that, but yeah, that's true.
Well,
it can do the Kessel run in like 10 parsecs.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's the Barney Kessel run for those of you that aren't familiar. All right, here we go. So as you can hear, it'll do the laser battle.
I'm impressed. It's a first class winner as far as I'm concerned. I can all right. So widely available. These pedals widely available.
Yeah. The Macrodose by All-Pedal, and man, they're not kidding when they say All-Pedal, I guess. And yeah, it's
what is it? I can't really tell. What's the size of the box? It doesn't look super huge.
It's about a maybe 4.5 by 3.5 inch box. So slightly larger than a Boss, kind of like the Enzo or an Electric Mistress, Stereo Deluxe Electric Mistress, about that size.
All right, so like that. That's the XO series, I think, of electro harmonics.
Okay,
the kind of
not too big,
single pedal, but not too big, but kind of bigger than a Boss or a standard MXR.
Maybe two cassette tapes, if you remember those from way back in the day, kind of that size. And thickness-wise, it's pretty standard. Maybe 1.25 inch thick, and covered and smothered in knobs. And they call it an envelope filter, which I guess it is, but to me it's so much more. Yeah, the step filter, the sample and hold sounding stuff, they call it a what do they call it? A pixelated filter or pixelated envelope.
It takes basically what the Pictronics envelope phaser did years ago, but puts it features on steroids.
Yeah.
Really,
well, steroids or drugs, one of the two. It's
something. It's something, but it definitely kicks it up. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of one for the other.
Right.
If you know what.
Right.
But at the same time, because of the amount of different things that this pedal does, that adds to its utility overall.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that if you're already twisting knobs on a pedal board, why not get another pedal that has a lot of switches and knobs to twist?
Imagine this going into something like an FX Tracker. I mean, it would just twist your brain.
Yeah, I like that. I like sounds, unusual sounds, or tastier than your average everyday sounds.
But as we heard from the very beginning stuff that we did, it can sound very just like a funky, really nice envelope follower.
But a really nice one, though. That's the key. It's not. It has all these other features, and oh, by the way, it's an envelope filter. It's like, no, it's a damn good envelope filter to start.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that low pass filter, when we first put it on, it was like, oh my God, that's a fat, juicy filter. So funky, beyond funky. It's like whatever the next thing is after, like space
funk.
It's space funk.
And we're using a single coil by the bridge. That whole time I was single coil by the bridge. For a brief moment I went to the P90 at the neck, but 99% of what we heard was a single coil by the bridge. So with bass, it's just going to get deeper and fatter and richer, and And they also say it sounds great on synth, on a regular keyboard synth, which I can imagine that it would.
Sure, it does. I can always rearrange that pedal board too.
Right. I'd like to hear it on like a Rhodes electric piano too. I bet that would be pretty awesome. Yeah, you could get way funkified. It's way funkified with a PH. Yeah.
Mono?
It is mono. It is mono.
Okay, that's not a problem either, because it would never be the last pedal in the chain for me.
Right.
there'd always be at least a delay after it, if nothing else.
And because it responds to your dynamics, you'd want it pretty early in the chain before any compression, I would assume. Right. Although I can imagine you could put this pretty much anywhere. It'd be nice in an effects loop probably too. So there you go, the All-Pedal Macrodose. You know, this has been a record setter for us in seals and boxes. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was hoping that
right up my alley.
Yeah.
Right up my alley.
Yeah. It dominates your alley. It
does. It's the thing keeping me from getting through the alley. Right?
It's like
leave me in the alley.
It's like a roadblock in my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we highly recommend it, and you know, it's a box of fun. It really just is. Thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of Gear and Gigs, kind of a wacky one this time. And once again, my apologies for not being more scientific about our analysis. If you get one, you'll know exactly what I mean. Please leave your comments below, like, subscribe. That really helps the channel. And for Reg, I'm Jet. You guys take care. We'll see you next time.